Obviously, important game at Maryland. It's a situation we only play them once this year, and we've never won there. We've beat them at home, we've beat them in the Big Ten tournament, but we've never won there. And so I think that gives us a little added motivation. And again, like I said, just because it is a solo meeting as well. So important game. We don't know the status of Cheyenne Sellers. She missed the last game. Probably won't know until... It's all right. No, it's okay. It's all right. Bree McDaniel's doing really well for them. She's really playing the point guard, the off guard. She's an extremely good basketball player. She's hard to guard because she's strong and fast. They're not really tall, but they're really strong inside. I think transition defense is a key. They're very, very good at pushing the ball and getting high percentage scores. They're quicker than we are. They run more possessions per game than we do.
You mentioned about Maryland's made it such a tough place for you to play after this team to win at. Just what was the last one, 92, 93 season, I think was the last time Iowa won in Maryland. What is it that makes that place such a hard environment for you?
Well, I just think they're a good basketball team. I mean, it's hard to beat good basketball teams on their home court. And we're going to be facing another sold-out crowd. As I understand, this is the hottest ticket that they've had in 5 years. And so it's going to be an unbelievable crowd. But hopefully we'll have at least 22 fans, if not Hawk fans, there.
You mentioned Cheyenne Sellers is questioned with that. I believe it's a knee injury. If she is able to play, what does she bring to them as a 6'2" guard?
Yeah, I mean, they can post you up because they're not big inside, but they're big at all their guard positions, and so they do a really good job of posting up their guards, and that's given us trouble against them in the past. But you look at a Gabby Marshall or Molly Davis on a 6'2" guard, that's a hard matchup.
How are they different this year? I mean, they're 4-6 right now. They've never lost more than 4 games in a conference season ever before this year.
They're trying to do a lot of the same things that they've done before. They're not as maybe deep as they have been. They've had some injuries, and that hurts people. I really think that they're trying to do a lot of the same things that they have been trying to do, but they don't have the height that they've had, and they don't have, the depth that they've had.
Over the last, I think it's 4 games, teams have really found success shooting the 3 ball against Maryland. They've also been turning it over a little bit more than they normally do. Is that kind of a big key if you guys can force some turnovers and get out in transition to find some of those potential, 3-point looks?
They've been turning it over, or other
Maryland
teams
has been turning it over, and then they've also been, the opponents have shot from 3 very well against them recently.
Well, they play a lot of zone, and so, sometimes people think that gives up the 3. Sometimes you talk to other people and think it doesn't. So it really depends on the person that you are and how you attack it. But I've been really comfortable with our 3-point shooting. We're coming off a really good 3-point performance at Northwestern. Again, I expect some junk defense. I think they're going to play box and 1. That's what they did against Caitlin last year, the last 2 times that we played them. So I'm fully expecting. We also saw some triangle and 2 against Indiana. So I think they're going to try some junk defense against us.
What's your relationship like with Coach Freeze? I mean, she's not just a Big Ten coach, but she's a fellow Cedar Rapids Metro graduate. What's your relationship like? Yeah,
we were never in school at the same time or anything like that. And obviously she went to Arizona out of state, to play college basketball. So, I'm not like that. We know each other from way back when in Cedar Rapids, but certainly I respect her. What she's done at Maryland has been absolutely amazing. She's an excellent coach, national coach of the year, won a national championship, so they don't get much better than that.
What do you guys have to do defensively against them, against those, they do have the 3-point shooters, they take the ball to the hoop. What's key, you think, for you guys?
I think transition defense is really important. I think boxing out is really important. They get a lot, their guards rebound really well. So everybody in their team rebounds well, and we can't let them up those easy second opportunities. So I think that's important. Also, they just play people at all different positions. For example, Faith Masonis will come off the bench and play 1 through 5 positions. That's highly unusual, but we're going to have to really be in-tuned defensively to our matchups and really, with a full house and maybe not being able to hear very well, being in tune with Coach Reyna, who does our matchups on the bench for us, and lock in on that, because there's going to be a lot of changes going on during this game.
when you see a team that's had some up and down results at this point, do you just expect that you're going to get the team that won those games and their best product?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I expect to always get, Brenda and Maryland's best. I just think that Maryland and us have kind of become a little bit of a rivalry over the years, even though we have a great distance between us. And so I think that we're always going to I'm expecting Cheyenne Sellers to play, and I'm expecting to get their best game.
Speaking of getting your opponent's best, it seems like even in games where your team ends up winning 20, 30 points, these are very competitive games through the first 15, even 20 minutes. Is that because you're getting the team's best? Are you perceiving it as a slow start on your team's part, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think it's any of those things. I think that when you're up by 8 at the quarter break, that's significant. That is 10 minutes of basketball and you're already up 8. So yeah, at the end of the game, you may be up 30, 25, but if you're up 6 or 8 at the end of the first quarter, that's pretty good numbers. And so I don't perceive, you're not going to beat somebody 25-0 in the first quarter. I mean, that's, and that's what people want. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's slowly, it happens over time. And you don't beat somebody in the first quarter. You beat them over the course of the game.
We haven't seen a lot of share in the last couple of games. Is that just a matchup thing where maybe Addie or Hannah matches up better with their post players, or is she recovering from anything right now?
Not recovering from anything. We're just trying to find that second post player that really wants to step up consistently, and we're not finding it yet. And that's kind of disappointing because here we are in February, and we haven't had some post that just grasps it and goes for it. And so I thought AJ Ediger went into the Northwestern game and played really well, and she moved up on the list as well.
They have a transfer from NC State, Jakia Brown-Turner. You got to face her last year. I believe over the last 4 games, she's really picked up. I think it's averaging over 20 points a game in the last 4. Just what do you see from her from an offensive standpoint?
Yeah, tremendous player. I think she was 3rd-team All-American as a freshman coming out of NC State. So kind of unusual there, or maybe when she graduated. I don't remember what it was, but I know she was up there with NC State. Been shooting the 3-ball well, over 55, around 55% the last 5 games. Crashes really well. She's a lefty. I mean, she's somebody that can attack, really scoring all 3 of the different areas.
You guys seem to be good for 1 or 2 of these, like, 90-second stretches a game where you put an 8-0 or a 12-2 run on somebody. I know Caitlin's part of that, but what's kind of the anatomy of, these little quick surges that you're able to put on people?
I think Caitlin is a lot of that. I mean, when she feels it, right? And she's going to let it go. And, it's really hard to stop. It's really hard to defend that. But I really do think it goes back to Caitlin and just her ability to shoot from that range. And when she feels it, she's going to toss it up there.
What else about Kate's progression a little bit this year? I know she was sick early in the season, so was still kind of recovering from that from the first 3 games. But it's the first time we've seen her kind of as the number 2 scoring option on this team, where she's putting up 12, 16 points a night almost reliably. Did you anticipate? Did you see that out of her this year, where she'd be such a deep offensive threat for you?
Kate had a great summer, and just she's playing confidently. She's enjoying her last season. She understands that we need her to score. She's shooting the 3-ball really well. So I'm really happy for Kate because she's put in a lot of time and really deserves this opportunity.
Defensively, you guys haven't always been a team that forces a ton of turnovers. The last 2 games, I believe it's 44 over the last 2 games you guys have forced for turnovers. What have you guys been doing defensively that has led to that?
It's not anything different that we're doing. It's just maybe, the people that we've played have turned the ball over more times. We've, thrown some doubles in there and things like that. And I think that hurt against Nebraska. But, really, it's just a case of, we're not doing anything different defensively the last couple games.
It was about this time last year that Kate and Gabby said they were both coming back for a 5th year. Do you expect Caitlin to wait till after the season to announce anything, or not?
I fully expect her to wait till after the season. I just don't think she wants to think about this until after the season. And so we'll go through senior day ceremonies as if this is her senior day. If she comes back, we do it again.